You're listening to BetQL Daily, presented by FanDuel Sportsbook, with Joe Ostrowski, Joe Giglio, and Aaron Hawksworth from BetQL.
It's amazing the numbers that continue to come out, how bad of a performance that was for the Chicago Bears in Justin Fields' first ever start. Not expecting a lot of good things as more than touchdown underdogs, but it was a lot worse than anyone ever expected. Joe Ostrowski, Aaron Hawksworth, Joe G out for the next couple of days. He'll be joining us mid to late week. So we're looking forward to having Joe G back in the fold here. This is BetQL Daily, weekdays 9 a.m. to noon Eastern time on the BetQL network. Aaron, do we have a Twitter poll to spark some conversation here?
Oh, we sure do. We asked the audience on Twitter at BetQL Daily, which of these teams that are 0-3 against the spread are you most likely to bet on this week? So worst teams against the spread through 3 games, all 0-3. Jags at Bengals, Washington football team at Atlanta, Chiefs at Philly, Jets versus the Titans, Bills, Texans. So it was very close. Pretty much a split here between the Washington football team and the Chiefs. Now, for me, if you go off what Mike Lombardi, the point he just brought up against the Washington football team, just, they play well against terrible quarterbacks. Maybe you go with the Washington football team this week. But with the Chiefs only having one win against the spread in the last 14 games, I don't know if I'd take the Chiefs. I don't know when that trend is going to end, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, what I would say is week 2, Danny Dimes is a terrible quarterback too. And he played well against them. He ran for almost 100 yards. It's amazing. Amazing. I understood the case that it's not a great defense, but I didn't know it was bad. Like, it's bad right now. At worst, I thought it would be average. I voted for Washington, as disgusting as that is. Maybe it's because the Jaguars are tough to bet on. The Jets are, like, untouchable right now. They can't score points. And, yeah, what was that? No touchdown for the second straight game. They've been outscored in the first half, the Jets, 46-3. Okay? The Broncos, they're not that great. They lose 26-0 at the Denver Broncos. That was easy for a lot of people in Survivor. So it was just process of elimination. Can you back the Chiefs? They are now 2 in, 12, I think, in the last 14 games, something like that. 2-12 against the spread. And
I think only one. They were like one.
Something like that.
They were like a 1-11-1 heading into this past weekend.
So you go back to the middle of last year. They've covered once.
Yeah.
And so how do you take them laying 6 points on the road? We'll see how the Eagles look tonight. Short week. I'm sure that'll be part of it. But it feels like people that are betting on Kansas City it's Pat Mahomes. I don't care. This is the week. It's going to change this week. Well, you're losing a lot of money if you're playing with fire that way. Yeah,
I agree. And then to start the show, I said I'm not taking Washington football team again this season.
And here we are.
The two parlays I had them in lost me quite a bit of money, and everything else hit but the Washington football team. So I am very upset. The football team is like the Seahawks to Paul Aspen right now. You're dead to me. I'm not touching it. I'm very emotional about this.
See, here's the problem. We have to make a certain amount of bets every week. And there are so many teams that I hate. And Washington is a team I hate. Okay, yes. So it's hard to bet.
all these teams.
Right.
On this list.
It's hard to bet on. We don't even have the Texans on that list because they've covered numbers. But it's hard to bet on Jacksonville. It's hard to bet on the New York Jets. And as I mentioned to Lombardi, I don't know how you bet on Washington, the New York Giants, the Steelers, or the Colts. The Colts, they win the turnover battle 3-0, and you can't bet on them. They have a huge advantage because anytime you're an offense going against the Titans, you have a huge advantage. And Wentz can't go for 200 yards. Ben can't move the ball. Bad offensive lines, too, with all of these teams. Terrible offensive lines. So, yeah. It was just a process of elimination. I went with Washington. Does it mean I'm going to be betting on the football team? No.
I agree. I mean, when I look at the list, and especially looking at the quarterback they're going to face, but I can't do it again. I'm still emotional over yesterday.
So what did you have with this parlay? What happened?
Okay, so let me show you. What didn't happen was Washington football team. I can tell you that. I just clicked.
I believe the Falcons were in there.
Yeah, the Packers, Saints. Hold on. So we obviously had our homer parlay, so we'll have to see what happens tonight. So I had the Falcons, Washington football team, Saints, Packers in one. And then I had the Falcons, Washington football team. Oh, same. I did one. So this one. Ooh. Yeah. So the Steelers messed me over too yesterday. I did a 5-leg parlay with the Steelers on the spread, Saints on the spread, Cardinals money line, Broncos money line, Packers spread. So the Steelers was the only one that didn't hit. So yeah, I had a rough day. So a couple things that came so close, parlays that came so close, but then just one team away.
I'll let you guys into my Saturday night, and if you see my timeline, you will see some swear words from Saturday on one specific game. So I did a 3-team dog parlay. Now, I'm not big on parlays at all, but if we're talking about only a few legs, and I think there's some value because we had 1 million upsets in college football on Saturday. 1 million. The door is wide open for teams to break into that playoff party. First game of the day, Notre Dame murdered at the end. Crushed Wisconsin. So that was easy. That got home. I paid attention to Pam Maldonado when she wrote up about a few underdogs winning, and she picked Baylor as a 7-point dog to win outright. They went outright over Iowa State. So I got 1 and 2 in. Here's Nebraska. Nebraska against Michigan State. I'm winning. I'm feeling good. Not much time left in the game. They tried to give that game away every which way. It ends up going to overtime. Interception in overtime. I lose. The Spartans' offense had 5 yards in the second half, and Nebraska could not outscore Michigan State. I repeat, Michigan State had 5 yards of offense in the second half, and Nebraska couldn't outscore them. Martinez, he's been the quarterback for 26 years, the same guy. I was not pleased. That was a 25-1 parlay. That would have been nice. Yeah, yep. I should have thrown NC State in there.
Yeah.
Kenny White gave that out. Joe G gave that out, and they pull off the upset in overtime.
Good. Yeah.
Clemson's out of the playoffs.
Oh, they're toast. They're done.
They're not even getting out of their side in the ACC.
Are we? Oh, by the way, just one more college note. So I mentioned this to you on the call this morning. Ole Miss opened at like 20, plus 20 in Alabama this weekend, down to 14. Kenny White told us last week he expected it to be 17. He would have taken those points with Ole Miss. It's down to 14.
If you grabbed Ole Miss right away, you have to lay it, don't you? That 6-point middle.
That middle. Yeah.
That's pretty big.
Could be a little Johnny Manziel effect possibility here with Corral in Tuscaloosa, Heisman candidate.
Once we get to the public money, you know it's going to go back up.
Yeah.
Later in the week.
I mean, all the way back up to 17? Probably not.
No. Won't go back up that
14
high.
and a half, 15.
Yeah. So, it was a rough weekend as far as that goes. All right. Undefeated. Now, Paul, these are ATS undefeated teams?
No. These are the undefeated teams
Straight
left
up.
in the NFL.
Okay, straight up undefeated teams.
Yeah. Rams, Cardinals, who play this week. The Broncos, the Raiders, both 3-0 in the AFC West.
Just win, baby.
Let's go. All right, Al Davis. And the Panthers, of which one of us is particularly invested in.
How do you feel about that?
So I think I'm talking myself into sticking with it. So I'm getting about 8-1 to cash out, which isn't bad. But
where's that
Rams,
Cowboys game next week?
4.
No, where?
Oh, Dallas.
Short week.
Prime time. Divisional game. Really good defense. Sam Darnold looks like.
I like Joe Brady against that defense.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
You got to play that out.
I think I got to play it out because here's the other part of it. Rams, Cardinals, they play. Okay, so one of them is out. Niners losing last night. That was big. Another undefeated out. Broncos have the Ravens at home. As much as I'm high on the Broncos in the AFC West, or at least open to be high on them, they could definitely lose that game. Raiders have the Chargers next week. I think the Chargers are going to be a strong look for us. I don't want to speak for us both right this second, but I think we got to look at it.
Yeah.
So that could potentially leave. So the Panthers have to get by the Cowboys. We could be down to 2 undefeated teams.
So for people that don't know what we're talking about, Paul has a ticket on the Carolina Panthers, last team to lose a game at 70?
70 to 1.
70 to 1. If I'm you, I want the Cowboys to win tonight.
Yeah.
So I would
by 2. By 2.
Sure. In a perfect world. I don't know. I'd want them to win by multiple scores for my Carolina bet if I'm you. I know you want extra points in some of the contests that you took Philly in, but if they cruise to a division victory, that might set up as an all right spot for next week for the Panthers.
So the flip side of it is, let's say the Eagles win by 2 touchdowns. Like, there's no way the spread is flipping, but like, do I want a shorter number for maybe an in-game hedge possibility next week?
You can do in-game hedges with a 70 to 1.
No,
Yeah,
I mean like
could.
if like Dallas gets to like +3 against the Carolina Live in that game, look at that spot.
When are the Rams going to lose?
In Seattle on a short week, I hope.
What's the line?
3?
After that Bucks game? Jeez, 3. Everybody's going to bet the Rams. Everybody's going to be
3.5?
Yes, I think so. Now they're viewed as the best team in the NFC. I don't know that that's accurate, but that's how they're going to be viewed right now. This is BetQL Daily. Joe Ostrowski, Aaron Hawksworth, also have Paul Aspin and Jay Kassan hanging out. Coming up next, take a look at some MLB futures. We have movement there, and some of the NFL awards markets in division odds. There might be some value for you on this Monday morning. Keep it locked on. BetQL Daily, presented by FanDuel Sportsbook.